I remember before we went to Yenegua, right there in the studio, we were talking about the possibility and also the options that are available to each of the various football federations in starting. We talked about 3 for now. We talked about the Belgian league that we said, look, they said as it is, points per play, we are giving it to Club Brugge. They are the champions. And then, you know, there are 3 countries, they call them the Benelux, you know, Belgium, Netherlands, and the Luxembourg. So, you know, Netherlands now came in and said, okay, we are also stopping our own, but we don't have a champion, and then no promotion, no demotion, then that is the issue. But then the German Bundesliga that we said, which is the third one we considered here, said, look, by May 9, we are contemplating starting. But then as they are doing that, UEFA came out with their own guidelines. So basically, I think it would be apt for us to look at some of those guidelines that UEFA are saying, this is, if you want to start your league, you want to end your league, these are the areas we expect you to follow. So probably we can look at those guidelines, and then while the House can look at it. Or maybe you let us be okay.
The guidelines are issued so far.
Yeah.
While using best efforts to complete the domestic competitions, national associations and/or leagues might have legitimate reasons to prematurely terminate their domestic competitions. In particular, in the following cases: 1, existence of an official order prohibiting sports events so that the domestic competitions cannot be completed before a date that will make it possible to complete the current season in good time before the next season starts.
Okay.
2, insurmountable economic problems which make finishing the season impossible because it will put at risk the long-term financial stability of the domestic competition and/or clubs. If a domestic competition is prematurely terminated for legitimate reasons in accordance with the above conditions, UEFA would require the National Association consent to select clubs for the UEFA Club Competitions 2020-21 based on sporting merit in the 2019-20 domestic competitions. The procedure for selecting clubs should be based on objective, transparent, and non-discriminatory principles. National associations and leagues should otherwise have the ability to decide the final positions in their domestic competitions, having regard to the specific circumstances of each competition. The final determination of eligible places for the UEFA club competitions should be confirmed by the relevant competent bodies at domestic level. UEFA reserves the right to refuse or evaluate the admission to any club proposed by a national association from a prematurely terminated domestic competition, in particular where the domestic competition have not been prematurely terminated based on the reasons given in these UEFA guidelines or on the basis of any other legitimate public health reasons. The clubs were selected pursuant to a procedure which was not objective, transparent, and non-discriminatory, so that the selected clubs could not be considered as having been qualified on sporting merit. There's a public perception of unfairness in the qualification of the clubs.
All right. So those are the guidelines, okay? And so you can what is your take on this?
So as I said, that there is no hard and fast rule about this. A whole lot of things needs to be taken into cognizance, and that's where they say the public perception of unfairness in the qualification of clubs. Take for instance, we've said it, the issue of Liverpool. They played over 60 matches and just 2 losses, right? And how will it be by saying, okay, for one reason or the other, you know, Liverpool will not go to the Champions League? No, that's why they said it has to be based on public perception in the qualification of the club. Because if the domestic FA submit a name, and they are supposed to be the final ratification ratifying body, but if people felt, look, why should it be this? Take, for instance, the race for top 4 in England.
Yes.
There is no way, except you are a seer, that you can say with a degree of certainty that this is the team that will finish in the first spot. So for that kind of position, this clause comes into play.
I want you to look at, can you take this paragraph for us? The ideal scenario. Can you read that paragraph out? The ideal scenario.
The ideal scenario
is there.
Okay, the ideal scenario should the pandemic situation permit it, is to have the currently suspended domestic competitions completed, enabling football clubs to qualify for UEFA club competitions on sporting merit in their original format.
Okay.
Should this outcome not be possible, in particular due to calendar issues, it would be preferable that suspended domestic competitions will restart with a different format in a manner which will still facilitate clubs to qualify on sporting merit.
Okay.
That is, clubs, you know, it's almost certain that number 1 to 3 is given in England. So the challenge is who comes into the last Champions League slot or 4th position. So you have teams like from 4th to 8th struggling for. So for these clubs, you can organize a playoff which is what they meant by a different format in a manner which will still facilitate clubs to qualify on sporting merit. So the underlying verb there is the sporting merit.
I totally agree with you. If that's okay, fine. You are taking the first 4, or you're taking the first, the first 6. Now the team that are 7th or 8th, they are probably the teams that are going to play the tough teams already. They are playing weaker teams that they can collect points. How do you now compensate that? Let me ask Obum.
The truth of the matter is, football is what it is. What is thrown at you? If you want to get to any level, you have to be prepared to play the best teams or the weaker teams. But Obe has said it very, very clearly and expressly.
Yeah.
But what matters after now, for the Champions League, after the knockout competitions, the spot for UEFA, what do you now do again for that slot? Do you organize another playoffs for the UEFA slot? So it's a bit more complicated. I'm thinking that the best bet is, even if you're not declaring Liverpool winner, let the format declare it. Let the first 4 Champions League, the ones that have qualified for UEFA, go, and it saves everybody the stress.
Okay, but you guys, I want to put you guys on the spot again. Let us go back to the Netherlands. They said no champion, no promotion, no relegation, and no promotion. Yeah. The issue is not even in the top, but in the second division, Campbell are leading by 11 points. 11 points, and yet they won't be promoted. So how is that different from Liverpool?
Ken, no, it's different.
How?
Liverpool, they need just 2 matches to be declared champion.
6 points, and it's not a given in football.
No, what I'm saying, they need just 2 matches.
Yes.
And I said, take into cognizance their antecedent and precedent. No, that is what we are saying. Secondly, for Campbell, they still have almost like 9 matches.
They went 15 matches, winning their last 12 matches they won. So I mean, they are in the top of
Newcastle under Calvin Keegan.
Yes.
Was leading Manchester United by how many
points?
They ended up losing.
They blew a 12-point lead.
Who says
this
is football? Anything can happen.
If you can blow 11 points, why can't you blow 25 points?
That's what I'm saying. A team. No. Except rapture takes place. That's when Liverpool blow their lead.
Okay, before we want to come to you guys, but let us just take this release by our own. Let us come back home because our domestic league, we know that like we said the other time, the clubs don't have much problem when it comes to payment. Okay. Let's take this one back. That is in the German league that we are talking about here. That is the chief executive.
Yes. If we start on 9 May, we are ready. If it is later, we will be ready again.
Yeah.
For us, what is decisive is what the politicians will decide.
Yes.
It is for us to decide when. It is not for us to decide when. Games without spectators are not what we want. But at the moment, the only thing that seems feasible.
So that means, in this case, the thing is not in their hands. It is what the government decides. You understand that then? Because football is not in a vacuum. It is part of the society, just like every other activity, just like whatever they are doing. So football cannot say, okay, we are different from other sports, or we are different from other crafts, or we are different from other things that bring people to interact from one another. So, like I said, it is what the politicians decide. It is what the government decide. In this case, 16 state governments and the federal government, are there to make it, and they are meeting on the 30th of April. And but all indications are saying that maybe they will, because they are looking at also the financial of the clubs. That these clubs might go under. A lot of them, like we said, are almost insolvent already. Yep. So if you can't pay your June salary, what happens to them?
The bottom line is that the football associations will be forced to make difficult decisions.
Yeah.
Back to what you were saying earlier on, before we moved over to this. If you declare Liverpool champions of England based on the current scenario, the team in the championship that is leading, it will have a spill-down effect. You have to declare the team.
That you must relegate.
How do you explain that a champion in championship cannot be promoted to the Premier League?
No. So that is why the Netherlands took that decision.
No, not to declare a champion.
Not to declare a champion.
Yes.
What they are saying,
they look at the fallout.
No. The declaring champions and having teams promoted or not promoted, they are a different scenario.
So you can have a champion in the top and have a champion in the down.
No. Once you have a champion,
And how do you explain to
once you have a
teams
champion,
that
what
team
is
that has a
attached
fighting
to
chance
being champions is promotion, and that was why they had to cancel.
Okay.
The Dutch
Okay,
league.
we'll come back to it. Let us just come back home because I want to open the line so that you join this conversation. I know a lot of you are already itching to be part of this. The LMC did come out with a release, a statement on this, and probably if we can have that, Obum, can you take the? Probably you can have the release by the LMC.
Nigeria Professional Football League clubs Thursday evening met through digital video conferencing with the leadership of the league management company, during which varying options to conclude the suspended 2019-20 season were deliberated on. The meeting came on the heels of the LMC Board of Directors meeting that held earlier in the day via same digital media. All the clubs offered a commitment to be part of any decision reached to conclude the NPFL season whenever federal authorities advise for the opening of the country for business and other engagements, including resumption of sporting activities. It was unanimously agreed that we would continue to liaise with the Nigerian Football Federation and the Sports Ministry on the possibilities that will work for us, and taking into consideration decisions that may be reached by CAF and FIFA with regards to international tournaments, calendar and regulations, etc. So any option and or format that may be chosen, we will also consider the available time frame within this framework, Diko explained. The meeting also agreed that should there be any exceptional support to the NPFL, the privately funded clubs in the NPFL will get priority attention in the distribution. The clubs also affirmed their commitment to paying salaries and wages of their players and officials during the period, and I have no intention of cutting down salaries and wages of players under the current circumstances, but are even thinking of how to keep supporting their players within this difficult period in line with the objectives of their various owners. Also, on the club's personnel, it was also resolved that whenever the league would resume, all the players, coaches, and backroom staff are to be tested for COVID-19, among other strategies to be adopted to guarantee the well-being and health of everyone involved with the NPFL. In this regard, the LMC would liaise with the Minister of Sports to facilitate this objective. The LMC was encouraged to continue liaising with sponsors and potential sponsors towards expanding the league revenues as envisaged. The meeting agreed to keep monitoring the situation as it unfolds regards COVID-19 and to keep the conversation open accordingly.
All right. So that is what they are saying. But we can pick out three things here. I want to do that. I will show you. You can pick it up. One, if you check that third paragraph, they said whenever the federal authorities advise for the opening of the country for business.
Yes.
So it is also just like in Europe.
The same line.
The same line. And then there is another line I want us to look at also. It said the meeting also agreed that should there be any exceptional support to the NPFL? I think there is not exceptional support.
Yes.
FIFA has just said $500,000 have been sent to them. So we have an exceptional support here.
Mm-hmm. So is the NFF telling you that money is meant for the
league?
No, there's.
Ken, I think.
Okay, let's open the lines. Let's open the lines. Please be part of this show. I don't like this job. The guy just gave me a job here. Let's be part of this. Let's be talking. I mean, they've got just FIFA is bringing $500,000, to the coffers of the
Why is it privately funded clubs in the NPFL getting priority attention?
Because the public ones they are being paid by government.
Can we analyze this?
Ken,
the government are also in trouble because they're getting monies to fund their budget is also an issue.
Okay.
These clubs are supposed to be profit-making clubs.
Yes.
And if you are a parastatal that the budget from the public, there is public money that is entering into those ones already. For goodness sake, those state-owned clubs already, I'm not saying they should not, but I think I agree with them in this particular instance. They're coming from private pockets.
They're having difficulties funding the budgets.
No, the relief. The federal government released to all the states, so they will benefit from there.
For the COVID,
for the COVID-19, not for sports.
Salaries. No. And we are still slashing their budget. And
the federal government directed that all staff, all federal government workers should be paid their salaries. So the same thing with state. The state have their own budget allocation. As federal government collects allocation, state have their own allocation.
Ken, are you aware that some states are saying for workers' wages, there will be statutory contribution and donation to COVID funds.
I see that is pay them, then from their own money are paying them. No, they will not be the same thing.
My interest here is when you say that the affirmation that commitment to paying salary.
Yeah.
Are we saying that 25% payment for
Yes.
debtors, Yobe debtor stars has been withdrawn?
Okay.
That is one.
I think they are yet to speak on
Pelican Stars.
Yeah.
They had a street demonstration.
Yeah.
Peaceful demonstration for non-payment of 9 months salaries. So we are not even talking of going forward. We are still having arrears to battle with. So this has to be very clear. This affirmation and commitment to ensure that salaries and wages are not slashed.
I think like we said, the Ministry of Sports in this case, I mean, also, like we said, they are still the supervising body supervising football in Nigeria. And then they say, look, we have this fund that is the pivotal, that is the lottery, Nigerian, the sport lottery is pivotal to this. We have a lot of funds that has been there for very long. You know, we're trying to look into that on, you know, how much that is entering there and nothing has been coming out for years. So there is, I mean, so they want to use that fund. I mean, so if that fund is going to be used for the Nigeria, we don't look at the modalities or who is going to get it, who is qualified to get it, because you have to look about the trickle down who gets what. But like I'm saying, from this statement to me, those clubs that are owned by state government already, their budget, I understand everybody is suffering. Every government, I mean, Nigeria is a mono economy. If nobody fly, if the vehicles do not move, if the planes do not fly, you won't use the oil. And if you don't use the oil, you won't buy. So if you don't buy, we won't sell. If we don't sell, we'll have no money. We agree on all that. But we are saying that the ones that are from government government is what that is billing out everybody. So the clubs that are owned by government already have a special, at least something to get.
Ken, well, I'm aware states are asking for 1 billion relief funds. Some states are asking for 15 billion relief funds. So if they had enough, they won't be asking for 15 billion.
But if they get that relief fund that they cannot pay now, that's what I'm saying. But it won't get to the privately owned clubs.
The funds are not even for payment of salaries.
See, when you say, no. Part of the relief you are getting about is not just for COVID. I mean, the COVID thing has to do with both relief and getting materials. If I need material, people are not eating, whatever. That is what, check out even for the federal government. It is what they are doing. It is part of the total. It's a total package, not just to me. That is my belief. It's
not for salary.
So no, it is for what? I think is it to buy face mask.
No. The testing
I think there should be room for palliatives.
Yeah, the palliative is the issue. It's part of that is part of all. I think it's a total package.
The federal government is overseeing the testing kits and which they are sending to the states. Okay. And some of them they get in grants, which they also send to the states. I think it will be unwise of them to release such money, and there won't be some form of palliatives.
I think that is what they are asking for, because why, like you said, you ask people to stay at home, like you say, all over the world. It's not just Nigeria. Yes. I mean, that is what the government
spent close to 3 trillion on palliatives.
On palliatives. And okay, where are we going to now?
Garba from Makurdi.
Okay. Hello, Garba. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to your guest. I want to talk on 3 issues. One is that, you see, Europe, they will find their way out no matter what. And they know that contribute a lot to their economy. They will not do contrary. I know. But my worry is here in Nigeria. You guys are complaining about the payment with dollars. Next week we should expect that some club will go insolvent in Nigeria. Some players here is not. You find it very difficult to feed themselves, because I know the kind of life that they are living. I'm where I'm living in Makurdi, Obisa. Believe me, right?
Yeah.
I pray this pandemic should stop. As government should do everything humanly possible to make sure that we stop the spread of it. If not, I'm telling you, Obisa will go insolvent. They cannot afford to pay them their salary. Even now, they have some outstanding issues. Then thirdly, I want to call out about our sportsmen in Nigeria, like our footballers. I never see anything that they can. Whereas other counterpart in other parts of the world, they are doing that. I think Kobe was donating X. Come on. Please, we need to do more than that from them, because they have enough. Let them give back to the society. I don't know whether you tell me, but I see Michael Obi do that. Egg. I saw it at the internal TV that he donated egg, some crate of eggs. So, but look at it, it's not enough.
But if their salaries are not coming as at when due,
I believe that they are hearing me.
If their salaries are not coming as at when due, how will they relieve other people? You have to. Let's say it's okay. Go on.
That one should be an excuse. How many years you have been doing it? You have the money. They have more than enough. They are buying all these luxurious cars, buying luxurious houses, whereas their brothers over here, they are ladies. They are there. They should do it. They should do something.
Are you talking about the Nigerian footballers?
I understand where it's going.
Okay, foreign-based players. Okay. Now I get you. All right. I thought you were talking about NPFL players. I thought it's NPFL you're talking about. Okay.
Mostly footballers. They are the ones getting much money, more than others in Nigeria. I know. If I can mention like 10 of them.
Some of them have been helped. Some of them have been doing a personal relief package. I know of John Ogu. He's the Super Eagles player.
But even him is not enough, please. Mr. Ken.
No. I just want you see.
I think Gaba should understand. It's not everything you do.
Ojon Igalo is also doing it. I agree with you, but some of them don't advertise it.
We should also make it known to him that these people are not under compulsion.
No, he's not saying they are under compulsion.
I want to explain it to you because
yes.
He said that they should do it out of your understanding, the level of your understanding and the willingness in your heart. Emmanuel Adebayo said nobody will force him to donate anything to his country, and he is not.
Was that accused that he brought coronavirus to his to
he said it clearly that he will not donate.
Of course, he has always had issues.
He can also be
but if he can,
still saying he won't donate.
You
don't need to
donating behind
it's not
the
every
scenes.
player that is publicity centric. Some prefer to do their thing behind the scene and just.
Of course, a lot of. Even before now, like we were talking about before the pandemic, Ihalo has his orphanage,
again,
and that is you cannot do anything more.
It's not a compulsion. There is no compulsion that they must do because you don't pay your taxes to them.
Yes.
So when they decide to do out of their own free will.
But he is saying, I also look at it from Garaba's aspect. He's saying, look, we've been hearing of, like you said, of course, not everybody advertises whatever they do, right in the social media. But he's saying, if they have, you understand, because he's seen what it is. If Igalo was offered about, is it 400,000 pounds per week? My goodness, I don't think there is any Nigerian that earns that amount of money in Nigeria, from the president down. I don't think anybody earns that amount of money. So if you are earning that much, and there are people who are not being, their 15,000 per month salary is not even entering their pocket. Why? That is what they are saying. You owe it. Yes.
We shouldn't be entitled.
I agree.
Mikel Obi released some crates of egg from his poultry. Nigerians were abusing him on social media that it's egg that he deemed fit to give.
And ingrates are ingrates.
These things are neither here nor there. It should be discouraged. People are not under compulsion to give.
Okay. All right. Let's calm this thing down. Rivalries. Sometimes you can't have one of the greatest rivalries we had in sport of recent in the last almost 3 decades now. Has to do between Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. And I tell you, in the race for Grand Slam, for now. Jim is not here, but Jim would have told you that Rafa is the GOAT. And he has 20 in his kitty. But Nadal, by courtesy of those, on the La Decima, how many Decima? When it's 2, that he picked the French Open. All right, he has 19. So we want to go on a short break. When we come back, we shall hear both of them, how they are doing their chit chat and tell you that rivalry is just on the court. Outside there, they are friends. Stay with us.